Apple Pay, Google Pay, Samsung Pay. Which one should I use? Are they safe? How do they work? Let's find out. It's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior, where we make videos to help seniors understand technology. If you'd like to be notified when we have a new video out, you know the routine. Just go down below, click the subscribe, and then hit the notification bell, and we'll send you a notification when a new video comes out. Today we're going to talk about the pay services, Google, Apple, and Samsung. What's all this about, and which one should you use? I've got some interesting stuff to talk about, so let's get on with it. Let's look at these three services: Apple Pay, Google Pay, and Samsung Pay. Which one should you use? Well, the first thing you need to know is they're all free. They're not going to cost you any money. And they actually all work the same way. I'll explain that in a minute. So which one should you use? Well, if you have an iPhone, then my advice would be to use the Apple Pay. This pairs nicely with the watch, and we're going to have another video coming out, another reason to click that notification, about using these pay services through your watch, which is going to be really cool. But if you have an iPhone, then use Apple Pay. That leaves everybody else with an Android phone, right? And so you probably should use Google Pay. Now, right away, you're going to say, hey, what about Samsung Pay? Well, that's a consideration. Now, you can only use Samsung Pay on a Samsung phone. And in general, more services, countries, you have a bigger service with Google Pay. And I would generally go with Google Pay, except for one thing. Samsung has some cool phones, particularly foldable phones. Now, they have designed Samsung Pay to work with those phones. For example, if you have a foldable phone, you can take the phone out and you don't have to unlock it or even open it to use the Samsung Pay. It's all designed to be used around that. So if you are considering Samsung Pay, I would look at the type of phone you have and look at the pros and cons before choosing that. They all are free, and they certainly work the same way. So let's have a look at how these work. All right, let's look at how this works. Let's take our traditional credit card. What you do is you put this into the reader, and the transaction occurs. And as you put it into the reader, the credit card number and PIN number are recorded in the reader to make that transaction occur. The problem with this is if there's a skimmer, the bad guys have come and actually made a physical altercation to the reader, this can compromise your card and, of course, provide the bad guys with some very important information. Now, this doesn't occur often, but is a potential risk, particularly with readers in restaurants that are often left unattended. So there are some problems with this. So then we have a situation where it has tap and pay, where you can actually take your credit card if it has that little tap and pay signal on there, and you actually can tap the card. Well, how does that work? That uses an older technology called EMV. So your credit card number and your PIN number are not actually transferred. So it is a secure transaction that occurs between that. This is more secure than inserting it in a reader. But of course, in my case, it never works, or it only works some of the time, because I have my credit card in my back pocket. Sometimes the tap works, sometimes the tap doesn't work. I have to often request a new card from my credit card company because it always works better when I get a new card. So there are a lot of complications with this. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So what we're going to talk about today is Google Pay, Samsung Pay, and Apple Pay. And that's where your phone now becomes your credit card. There's a link between your phone and your credit card company. This becomes your credit card. I'm going to show you how to set that up in a minute, but there are a lot of advantages because, of course, we use a different technology than the old EMV that didn't work that well. We use it's called NFC, or near field communication. In other words, there's a radio chip in this phone that actually sends a broadcast to the reader. Now, you probably understand Wi-Fi, you understand Bluetooth. Well, NFC is yet another form of broadcasting that is available on most cell phones. Now, the advantage of NFC is that it only broadcasts 1 or 2 centimeters. You have to be very close for it to the receiver to pick up the signal. The other thing that happens is when NFC broadcasts from your phone to the reader, it only sends a transaction number. There's no identifier or no information that is kept, or there is no information that's transmitted to the reader other than a very long, complicated number. So that makes this very secure, and also it works, at least I've been using mine for a week now. It works all the time. It's not like that stupid credit card where you tap and pay and it doesn't work. There are a lot more advantages that we're going to talk about, and particularly for seniors. So that is what I want to focus on. All right, let's set this up. It is so simple. Don't be afraid. The first thing you have to do is make sure you have the correct app on your phone. And you'll see on my phone, there are 2 versions of Google Pay. In Canada, we use the older Google Pay app, which is this one. And if you are in the United States, you use the current one, which is this one, and found in the Play Store. Now, I'm not sure how I got the older version of Google Pay on my phone. It was just there. I think in a lot of these cases, these apps are already installed on your Android phone. But if they're not, then you simply have to go to the Play Store and download and install them. Now, once you open the app, the setup of your credit cards is so easy to do. It took me about 10 minutes to do 5 cards. You simply entered the card number in, or in my case, they were already there because Google knew them. But once you do that, it wants to know what those 3-number security code is on the back of your card. You simply put that in, a link between your bank and your phone. You'll then get a text message coming in with a code. You enter that into the app, and bingo, you're hooked up. That's all it is, and it's that simple, and you can do all your cards probably within 5 minutes. Now, once you get the app ready and operational, then I would suggest you move it, as I have here, to the front screen of your phone. This is something you're going to use all the time, so you don't want it to be in the third screen. You don't want to be hunting for it. So I moved that to my primary screen right at the top right, as you can see here, so it's easy to see when I open my phone, and I can access it right away. So now I've got the app installed. I am super nervous. I haven't done this before, and I don't want to be in a big Costco lineup and be embarrassed about fumbling around. This isn't going to work. So I work at the airport on Wednesday morning as a greeter. Yes, I'm a greeter. I get to help people with their travel arrangements. So at the airport, a friend of mine has a bakery and a cafe. So I decided to go in a non-busy time and use my first tap and pay with my phone at her restaurant. And here's how it all went. Take 3. Okay, I'm here today and I'm going to be using my Google Pay on my phone. And I've got Andrea here with me because she is a wonderful person and a friend of mine for a long, long time. We used to be in Rotary together, and she's a kind-hearted soul that's going to help me if I have trouble with this. Oh my gosh. So now I'm here at On the Fly. If you stop by at Comox Airport, be sure and come on the fly and buy something, okay? All right, so here we go. And we are going to we're going to charge this. We're going to confirm pay. And I'm not going to leave her a tip, darn it anyway. And I'm going to take my phone now, as you can see my phone here, and I'm going to put it over top. And you'll hear it click, and it is now approved, and we're now going to print. And here comes my receipt, and that is how you use Google Pay on your phone. It's so easy. You've got to try it. All right, thanks a lot. Bye now. Since this is easy and secure, let's look at the advantages for seniors. Imagine it is the end of the evening, you've been out for dinner. It is now time to pay. You've had a glass of wine, the room is dark, and of course we all have glasses and many of us have vision problems. It always seems to be busy when you want to pay, and of course they bring around that little box for you to put your credit card in. Of course, this is in great demand, so it is just being used by another table. You then put your credit card in, but of course there are a whole bunch of menus that you have to go through. These are very confusing menus, and they're different with each machine. So you have the issue of confusion, you have the issue of you probably can't see very well, and you have the issue of very different menus. Usually what happens is after 2 tries, the waitress says, "I'll do it for you." So wouldn't it be better if you just said to the waitress, "Put the tip in and I'll tap and pay." You take your phone and simply tap it and away you go. No problems. There also may be mobility issues. Maybe you have Parkinson's disease. Maybe it's not easy for you to push those little buttons, even if you could figure out what those buttons were for on that machine that you've just put your card into. And again, the phone can recognize you for facial recognition, and all that you have to bring up is the credit card app, and you just tap and pay. So much easier. We've all experienced this horrible pandemic where a lot of people have died of COVID, particularly seniors. Now, fortunately, we're vaccinated now, but it's still a disease that kills seniors. In the days of the pandemic, when they brought this little machine around to pay, they always wiped it off and sterilized it before giving this to you. But now I see at restaurants that doesn't happen. In fact, these machines are usually in short supply, so they're handed around quite quickly, and the last person who touched it may, of course, be infected. So again, you don't want to touch those machines. A tap and pay with your cell phone certainly would help you with this. You know, these devices are so incredible. Whether you use facial recognition, fingerprint scanning, or gesture control, there are many ways that these phones allow secure access to them without, remember, complicating PIN numbers. You know, I was at Costco a couple of weeks ago, and I felt so bad for a senior. It was a busy Costco day, and of course he was in line, and when he got to the checkout, he couldn't remember his PIN code. Well, it's a senior's moment. We get to do that. That's okay. I don't have a problem with that, but he felt so bad and embarrassed because he wasn't able to complete his transaction. Had he been doing this, the facial recognition would have accessed his phone, and he would have easily just done a tap and pay and been out of there. Again, another reason to use this product. It's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you want to be notified of future videos that we make, you know, the subscribe and hit the notification bell, and we'll send you a notification for future videos we make. I'm going to be having 2 more videos coming up. One will, of course, be on using your watch for payment, and the other, of course, will be discussing the Google Wallet. A little different product, and we'll talk about that. So, till we see you again, have a great day.
Everyone. Our Windows tips and tricks today is going to cover several subjects. So the first one is going to be Storage Sense, which I just sort of dubbed it, formerly known as Disk Cleanup, if you understand the old familiarity with the Disk Cleanup in the previous versions of Windows, which, by the way, Disk Cleanup is still available. But anyway, how Storage Sense works is Storage Sense is turned on with the default settings. It will run when your device is low on disk space and will clean up unnecessary temporary files. Contents from the recycle bin will be deleted by default after some time, but items in your downloads folder and OneDrive or any other cloud provider will not be touched unless you set up Storage Sense to do so. You can change these default settings for Storage Sense to run when and how you like by clicking on Configure Storage Sense or Run Now. Storage Sense works on your system drives only, which contains the Windows operating system and is usually referred to by C. If you have other drives attached, you can free up space on other drives by going to More Storage Settings, View Storage Usage on other drives. This is a screenshot of Storage Sense in Windows 10. And as you see, it's turned on. Normally it's turned off by default, but here you can notice that you can have some options where it says Run Storage Sense. This one is set during low free disk space, but if you use the drop-down arrow, you can you have other options. You can also delete files in your recycle bin if they have been there for over 30 days, or you could also set it for never, like the one is for the download folder. And you also, if you use cloud storage, you also can clean those up. And to free up space now, you just click on Clean Up Now. In the Windows 11 version, it does the exact same things, except things are laid out differently. And if you notice, it is under System. And in this case, it's turned on. Notice that it is configured to clean up every week. Delete files in my cycle bin if there hasn't been over 30 days. That's the default. The next tip is always show scroll bars. By default, scroll bars are turned off in Windows 10 and 11. To turn on or off automatically hide scroll bars, you'll want to open Settings and tap on Ease of Access, the Ease of Access icon in Windows 10. In Windows 11, you want to go to Accessibility's Visual Effects. In Windows 10, as you can see, the is under Display, and you need to scroll down till you get automatically hide scroll bars in Windows and turn that off if you want them to appear. In Windows 11, you will find it under Accessibility, and you again want to toggle that to on. Always show scroll bars. My next tip is on Windows sign-in options. Windows offers many sign-in options. This feature is hardware and software based and depends on the hardware you have and the version of Windows you are using. In Windows 10 and 11, you will find the options under Accounts. The ones that are not applicable to your system will be labeled. This option is currently unavailable. It will also have a Learn More. The options are Windows Hello Face, which requires a compatible camera, Windows Hello Fingerprint, signing with your fingerprint scanner if your device is so equipped. The Windows Hello PIN is available to everyone, and typically you can sign in with a 4-digit number that you set up. However, this PIN can be 4 more digits to include letters and special characters. And to do so, you have to have at least 4 characters. The PIN can't be longer than 127 characters. It must contain upper and lowercase letters. It can include numerics and also include special characters. To expand or include special characters, you want to click on the box to include letters and symbols. Remember, if you make it complex, please write it down. So in Windows 10, you will have the 4 sign-in options. The first one, as I tell more, is that in my case, the Hello Face is not available because I do not have a compatible camera. I do have a fingerprint reader, and that is recommended. Also, I can use the Hello PIN and sign in. and I can also use a security key. In Windows 11, it looks a little bit different. It's under Accounts. And here you can see where I have selected Change My PIN, and I can include my PIN. I can put the new PIN. I put a confirmation. Now, if I want to include letters and symbols, in addition, I need to check this box, and that'll give you the option to be able to expand it to more than 4 digits and to include characters and symbols. If you decide to use a security key, and that is a hardware device, usually in the form of a little USB key that you can use instead of your username and password, it helps you, and you need this kind of security. You can use this type of device, but something you should be aware of, always make your backup of USB security key in case the key is lost. You want to update and change your security key password often, as people with access can easily clone your USB without you knowing it. To do that, it takes 6 steps. Step 1, you want to click on the Windows icon on the toolbar, and then select the settings icon. Step 2, on the settings window, click Accounts. Step 3, click Sign In Options from the left pane, select Security Key from the right pane, and then click the Manage button. Step 4, insert your USB drive into the USB port when prompted. Step 5, click the Add button following the security key PIN option, and then enter your password by following the on-screen instructions. The example here is a Windows 11 screenshot. Lastly, you should, if you're stepping away from your device for a few minutes, it's a good idea to lock it so that others can't see what's on your screen or access anything on it. To do so, you want to press the Windows logo key plus L to immediately lock it. When you return, you just need to authenticate, and you'll be right where you left off. And that are my tips for today.
Portable apps. What are they? And what do you want to know about them? I'm Huey Poplock. Portable applications offer some definite advantages. They are lightweight, and they allow you to move between computers while taking your apps and settings with you. Here's why they are different and why they sometimes, but not always, are a good choice. When you install an app in Windows, the installation files go to several different locations. The bulk of the app's files are usually copied to a single folder, somewhere in the // program files folder. Files that contain settings applying to all users of the app may get created in the program data folder. Settings that are particular to different user accounts on the PC are stored in files created in the hidden app data folder inside each account's user folder. Most apps create entries in the Windows registry that may also hold various configuration settings. And many apps take advantage of shared code libraries that get installed with things like the .NET framework and Visual C++ redistributables. A portable app is simply one that doesn't use an installer. All of the files required to run the app reside in a single folder, which you can put anywhere on the system. If you move the folder, the app will still work the same. Instead of installing a portable app, you typically download it as a zip file, extract that zip to a folder, and run the executable file for that app. If the app allows you to save settings, those settings are saved right inside that same folder. The most significant benefit of using portable apps is self-evident. They're portable. Stick them on a USB drive, for example, and you can carry them around from computer to computer. They won't leave any footprint on the PCs you run them on. Everything, including any settings you saved, is saved right in the portable apps folder. on the USB drive. It's very similar to the ways things worked back in the days of MS-DOS and Windows 3.1. Portable apps can be helpful even if you aren't moving between computers, though. For one thing, they leave a smaller footprint on your PC. They tend to be lighter weight than most installable apps just by the virtual and not having to be installed. You can sync them along with their settings to your other PCs using something like Dropbox. Or you can just use an app once without having to worry about leaving junk on your system. If you're running portable apps from a USB drive, you'll want to take care to eject the drive properly instead of just pulling it out. Otherwise, you can corrupt the apps or cause settings not to be saved properly. That said, the advantages of portable apps usually outweigh the disadvantages, particularly if you move around to different PCs a lot. PortableApps.com provides access to several hundred portable apps that you can download and install to your portable apps disk. Many of these apps can only be installed to the portable apps suite, and you don't have a portable version you can use without the suite. The portable apps does offer the advantage of being able to choose exactly which apps you want to include. It's worth exploring what portable apps have to offer. There's nothing quite like the feeling of freedom and flexibility you get from knowing that with the USB drive hanging from your keychain, you can run all the critical aspects of your computer life. Let's take a look at PortableApps.com. We are on the Portable Apps website, and a word of warning. The website is free. The downloads are free. In order to support themselves, they have advertising. They have a lot of advertising. You have to be careful when you click on something, you're not opening up ads. They want you to do that. Let's take a look right down here at the bottom. You'll see this is an ad. But let's move down here. Now this is a download from the website itself. We're going to go to the Apps tab, and we're going to see that the portable app directory is there. Right now, let's take a look at the list. They are by topics, and you will see as we scroll down, and I'll scroll fairly slow. I'm not going to read them all off to you. You can go back and you can examine them. You can take a look, but you can see there's a lot of programs available. Let's take a look at ℏ𝕬𝕝 portable. We're on the particular app, portable app. There is a description of it. There is some information on how you can get support about it, and then there's download details. Again, you don't want to click down here for download. It's an ad. You're going to get something else. So what you're going to do is come up here to the green where it says download from portable apps. Another way you can tell is if you look at the bottom left, it says https:/portableapps. When we click that, it tells us it's downloading it. Again, another ad pops up. Don't click on it, but down here in the corner, it is downloading the app that we want. I have my computer defaulted to the download folder when I download a file. Yours may not. You may not know where that is going. So if you come down to this corner and right mouse click and click show in folder, you will see there is the app. Now what I do is, because I want to, this is going to be an app by itself, I'm going to say, well, I want to create a new folder. I'm going to call it ℏ𝕬𝕝 portable. Then I'm going to take this file and I'm going to drag it and drop it. So now when we click on the folder, there is the file we just downloaded. So now I have it in its own folder. It is installing it in the folder that I just created. So it's like an installer, but it really isn't. You'll see that in just a moment. I say okay, backtrack that, and back and delete it. And so I want it in the folder I just created. So all the pieces and parts will be in there as opposed to into another subfolder. And then I just tell it to install. And it's done. So here is the installation, all within the folder called Calibra Portable, and all of the files and subfolders that it needs are in that folder. In order to run it, you hit the ℏ𝕠𝕟_portable.exe. The first time through, it's got to do a little bit of setup, and congratulations, you have successfully set up Calibra. Press the Finish button to apply your settings. So we click Finish, and it's there, and it's opening. There is one book already installed that comes with it, which is the Quick Start Guide, which will help you learn how to use it. More on Calibra next week. Next, I'd like to show you using the Portable Apps app as a better way to control and to take care of what we just did. First, we want to go to the download page. And we want to download portableapps.com platform. It's a way of getting all the portable apps that you want to download in one group. What you want to do is come here and get the green download from portableapps.com. It's now downloading. Again, we're going to go to Show in Folder, and you will see it's the portableapps.com platform setup. This we're just going to click on from here. I have installed a thumb drive in my system, and we're going to install this program to the thumb drive and anything we want to add to that. We're going to continue, so we have to come down here. We have to, yes, I agree. You want to choose New Install. We're going to hit Next. We're going to put it on our portable device. We're going to say Next. I want it on my F drive. Click Next. It says you have selected to install, and it says the root of that drive, and I'm going to say yes. Go ahead and install it. Okay, it is checked for Run Portable Apps. We want to go ahead and do that, so we're going to click Finish. It tells you what's new in it, and they want you to donate. We're just going to say Close. It's going to the Portable App directory. It's checking for apps. And there's a list of all the apps that I could choose. So let's take a few here. We're going to take this, Get, Poker TH, Irfan View, it's a Google Chrome, and we're going to pick Audacity, and it is Revo Uninstaller. And now I'm going to say Next, but you can see that it's downloading one of 7. I cut out a lot of the terms of service as each one installed. It did it automatically, but I had to click various spots while I was doing the install. But now if we go to the drive, the USB drive, we will see that we have a start. So if we click on Start in the screen, so you will see that it shows the various topics. All of the programs that I had pegged to be installed are here. And check for updates. You can get more apps by category. You can install a new app. So if we go to one of these, it gives you some information about the program. And there's the program running. I'm not going to go through it or how to use it. It's just there. And you can see you can run any of your programs from this menu. That's Portable Apps, the actual program, and individual apps as well. Portable apps, what are they? And what do you want to know about them? I'm Huey Poplock.